So, how are you, ma'am?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine. So, first of all, I wanted to know that despite of being a Bhangra queen, I really wanted to know that do you speak some Punjabi? Like few
Um,
words,
just some. I'm not like 100% confident in Punjabi.
but still one or two words like the three things in anything. Like you can say Sasri Akal.
Sat Shri Akal ji.
That's great. You have a great accent though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only half Punjabi, so my dad is Indian and my mom
Okay.
is Italian German. So we learned Punjabi, but like we didn't speak fully all the time. And plus, we grew up in California, so it's like
Right.
we don't have to speak all the time.
Right. But still, you have a great accent though, I have to say
Oh, thank
that.
you.
So, ma'am, what's your routine like despite of having a Bhangra empire? What's your routine?
So we started Bhangra Empire in 2006, which was
Right.
many, many years ago.
Yeah.
It was right after I graduated from college. So
Okay.
since then to now, a lot has changed.
Yes.
We've gotten married. I have three kids.
Yeah.
So currently my schedule is so different than it was in the beginning, but right now we're literally just trying to survive.
Right.
Um, we have our online Bhangra classes that we teach, and
Okay.
then we also take care of our three kids at home all by ourselves. So we're trying to juggle those two things, and then as well as the team as well. We have our Bhangra Empire team and our academy
Right.
students. So we have to juggle all these three different things. But
Right.
we love it. I mean, this is how me and my husband met. We met through Bhangra Empire.
Okay. Wow. That's great.
Yeah, so our whole lives has been wrapped around Bhangra Empire.
Yeah, as you said, you have been really busy. So I really wanted to ask one more thing. That, as you said, you have already met your husband through Bhangra Empire. So how did you get this idea of having a Bhangra Empire despite Punjabis making Bhangra a hobby, not a profession? So how did that idea came into your mind?
So for us, Bhangra Empire was originally when we started it, we were inspired by other Bhangra teams in the US, right? There
Right.
were a lot of Bhangra competitions, and we just wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Eventually, through the years, we worked really hard. We were able to do a lot of amazing things, dance for Barack Obama, dance
Yeah.
on America's Got Talent.
Right.
So we got to do a lot of really cool things.
Right.
And we decided we wanted to give back to our community. So in California, we don't have that many Bhangra academies.
Right.
We didn't grow up learning Bhangra. So we wanted to kind of give that back to our community here,
Right.
and offer classes. So that was our next step, from competing in competitions to offering Bhangra classes to the community. So to kids, to adults, to anybody. You know, in our opinion, you don't have to be this, you don't have to be Punjabi to do Bhangra. We
Right.
wanted to open it up to everybody.
Right.
So that's kind of why we wanted to go into the classes aspect, which ended up becoming a business for us.
Right.
When we first started, it was all just a side thing for us. My husband and I worked full time. I was a pricing analyst. He was an engineer.
Okay.
We were doing Bhangra Empire on the side, so we had three full jobs, like three full
Right.
jobs.
Too
And
much work.
eventually, yeah, it was so much work. And then eventually, Bhangra Empire and Bhangra in general is our passion. So eventually, we were able to just thankfully we were able to make the transition for me. So I focused all my energy on Bhangra Empire. I left my job. I focused all the energy into Bhangra Empire in our classes. And eventually Umar did the same thing. So now everything is in this.
Right.
And it's something we're just really passionate about. It's something we enjoy so much. And like I said, we didn't grow up doing it. Like we
Yeah.
both started doing Bhangra. It's part of our cultural aspect as well,
Yeah.
but we started doing Bhangra in college. So
Okay.
I didn't dance growing up at all. I mean, it was
Really?
at parties and whatnot, but I was a very shy person.
Okay.
So I didn't like to do those types of things. I didn't start actually dancing until college. So I was very late to the whole Bhangra thing.
Okay.
And that was one of the reasons why I thought classes were so great, because Bhangra gave me a lot of confidence. and
Right.
just a way to express myself. And I wanted to give that to the next generation. So
Right.
that was like a lot of the inspiration, motivation for the classes was to give it back to the younger kids and let them grow up with it. You know, we have
Yeah.
that cultural aspect, which we're hoping to keep alive. And then also just to give them something to connect to and feel
Right.
happiness and
Yeah.
confidence. Definitely wanted to impart that to the next generation.
Also, that gives you a bit of Punjabi touch, the cultural aspects.
Right, because we have ballet here, we have
Yeah.
hip hop dancing, we have all these things that are very mainstream,
Right.
and cultural dancing. I mean, we have a lot of desis in where we live, a
Yeah.
lot of desi community, a lot of classical dances, a lot of those types of Indian dances.
Yeah.
Not so much Bhangra, so we wanted to kind of bring that out as well.
Right. So you mentioned Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. So I know that they have been very generous to you. They have called you twice to meet and to perform. So how was that? Like you were nervous before or everything went soothing? What was that like?
When we first got contacted, it was an email from the White House. We thought
Right.
it was a joke. We were like, this can't be real.
Yeah, that would be
Um,
shocking.
yeah, it said it was from the office of the White House, office of the
Okay.
president, and we're like, this can't be real. This is like not possible. But we were able to figure out that it was real. They did background checks on all of us
Wow.
before we were able to go. They contacted us 2 days before the event. So literally within
Oh,
those
such a
two
short
days,
time. Yeah.
yeah, very short. So they did all our background checks, they booked our flights, we flew there, we did the performance, got back to the hotel and we left. But it was so surreal, like just
Yeah.
being there because nobody gets to go to the White House for Bhangra of all things,
Yeah. True.
right? So like a lot of opportunities that we've gotten is just so out of this world. Like you can't imagine that for Bhangra that you're going to the White House, right?
Right.
And just to have that opportunity to showcase it to all these people, right? Important people in government, and we were able to
Right.
showcase Bhangra, part of our culture. It was just a very proud moment for us. And at that time, Manmohan Singh was president or prime minister, sorry,
Prime Minister,
of
yeah.
India. So they were
Yeah.
honoring him by having Bhangra there.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
that was their reasoning for calling a Bhangra team.
Okay, wow.
Um, so that it was really cool just to know that all these people who maybe have never seen Bhangra before
Yeah.
have were like there, and we were able to show them like a part of our culture. And it was so like literally you don't feel in those types of situations, you don't feel like you're there. Like it's an out of body experience. It's like
Right.
so
Adrenaline rush and everything.
uncomprehensible. Yeah, like you can't understand that you're actually doing this.
Right, true. So you said you were called 2 days before. So in that short span of time, how did you manage to conduct a good choreography or, just to conduct that small piece even if you had to show it?
So we got lucky. We had actually just performed in Boston like the week before. So
Okay.
we had a group of people ready, and we had a performance already ready. We took the same
Okay.
performance over there. So
Okay.
we had to modify some things because the stage was much smaller. But
Okay.
luckily it was short enough timeline from our competition where we already had things already set. And
Right.
we literally just took that, modified some things, and just did the same thing over there.
Right. So did both of them share their experience of seeing you on stage?
Yeah.
Michelle and
Definitely.
Obama. Yeah.
Yes. And then we were able to take a picture with them afterwards, and they
Yeah.
were just so nice. They're like such down to earth people. And again, like you don't realize that they're actual people, right? These people who are like in government and president,
Right.
like you don't realize that they're just
Surreal.
normal people.
Right.
And they were just so nice. They were so nice to us. So it was just really cool experience.
Yeah, also you went to America's Got Talent, so that's a completely different platform where you cannot showcase, everything that is authentic to your culture. So how did that happen, and what was that experience?
That was we auditioned.
Right.
So we did the whole audition process. We submitted a video. We went to Portland to audition for the show.
Okay.
And when we did it, they selected three different Indian dance forms.
Oh,
So
okay.
another one was actually from the Bay Area as well, and they
Okay.
did Bollywood. So they had a Bollywood, they had a classical, and they had us. So they had three different Indian
Okay.
types of dances going up against each other, basically. But it was really cool because we performed in front of a live audience, and
Yeah.
they were recording it, but they were like telling the audience what to do.
Okay, that was scripted basically.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then we had the judges in front of us, and you know, like we were very mindful of mistakes, and one of the guys actually fell on stage, which we
Oh,
like freaked out, like because that doesn't happen normally, but there's so much
right.
like emotion, so much energy and nervousness,
Right.
um, but like we got through to the next round. We made it to the Las Vegas round, which was 100 different acts. So that was
Right.
pretty far for us. We got cut after that, but we got to go there and we got to experience like all the different types of all the different types of acts that they have.
Right.
And it's cool that Bhangra was able to have that kind of platform among like magicians and singers and like
Right.
all the mainstream things, and that we were able to do Bhangra. And that's always been like our like I kind of mentioned before, that that's kind of been our goal with
Yeah.
Bhangra Empire, is to bring it to the mainstream audience. And that's why we do a lot of like, you know, we add in hip hop beats, we add in a lot of
Right.
pop culture references to kind of
Right.
connect our audience more. And again,
Right.
not just to the Desis, we want to connect to everybody so they all
Everybody.
feel like some kind of a connection.
Right. So you have already done so much of mainstream, but I want to know that how do you connect with the dance form you have been guiding others to do as well?
How do I connect personally?
Yes.
So personally, like I said, my dad is Punjabi, so I grew up with the Punjabi culture.
Right.
And for me, like I said, I was always a very shy person, very quiet, reserved person.
Right.
Bhangra definitely got me out of my shell.
Okay.
And I'm still, that's my personality. I'm still quiet and shy. I still get nervous before every performance. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm always nervous.
Right.
But
That's very normal as well.
yeah, and especially with my type of personality, like I'm not an outgoing person, but
Right.
I think Bhangra really like cracked that shell for me.
Right.
And just the fact that I had the cultural tie because of my dad, it just made it that much more special for me. And just to be able to connect in that way to my roots, it just was really cool for me. And again, like to be able to do that for the next generation, it just it really makes me happy that I'm able to do that, because it meant so much for me growing up, or not growing up. It meant so much for me now. So to be able to give that to kids growing up, it's really special.
Yeah, it is special indeed. So you have been into this profession for 15 years now. So do you have any special memory you have been, curious about or something memorable that has happened between these years?
With Bhangra Empire,
Yes.
um, I mean, we had so many special things that we were able to do. Just being able to travel with a group of people and like connect as a team.
Right.
That's always been the bottom line for me, is like connecting with people who have a similar interest.
Right.
No matter where we went, we flew to Kenya, we flew to Bahrain, we flew to London, we
Wow.
flew all over the country for competitions.
Right.
The White House, America's Got Talent, you know, the Warriors games we performed for 9 straight years.
Wow.
All these opportunities are amazing, but at the end of the day, the connection that you form with the other dancers and the amount of hard work that you put in, like that's a connection that it goes deep. And
Right.
that was what has been the most special for me, is like making those connections with people and them also making connections amongst themselves and becoming great friends, right?
Right.
And we've probably had over 150 people who've been on the team throughout the years,
Wow. That's
since we
great.
started, right? Because people come and go and
Right.
join and they move on.
Yeah.
And Umar and I have been the constants, right? We've been there since day one.
Right.
And then we've been able to meet all these people, and it's just so amazing to like be a part of that many people's journeys in life, I feel like, and to experience all these amazing opportunities.
Right. So you and your husband have been part of this for such a long time. So does that ever come into your mind like you don't, agree with one thing in a performance, like you want to change, but he said no, that's something I want to keep. So do you get conflicts in between them?
Luckily, he is more the creative person, and I'm
Okay.
more like the logistical person. So he'll
Okay.
do like he's very creative. He's the one who comes up with all the performance stuff. I'm the one who kind of sometimes shoots down some ideas, but
Okay.
he's the one who's like always like his brain is always churning with all
Okay.
these ideas throughout the years, and it's amazing to me. Like I'm just fascinated that he can come up with all these ideas, but luckily we kind of have our own little roles on the team, and
Right.
we don't really step on each other because like we know like he's good at that, I'm good at this, and it's a
Right.
separation. um but yeah, I mean, we've worked together as a team very well, and that's kind of what led us to, we wanted to get married. But
Right.
but yeah, like we just work well together in general. So that's it's always been the case since we started the team. So we figured out how to work together, and it works.
Yeah, so there's this balance between you both. That's great. So you have three kids, and when it comes to kids, one thing which is very common is tantrums. Like they throw lots of tantrums. So I have recently seen a reel also with your daughter. So how do you manage her with the performance and videos? Because obviously kids are very, get very clingy at times.
Yeah. She's only 3.
Oh,
So
okay,
they've been around dance since they were born, from before they
right,
were born. So they like dance for now, at
okay,
least. For her, like it depends on her mood. So like I have a
okay.
lot of videos with me and her, but sometimes like one video in particular, we had to do it 3 different days because she wasn't
In the
cooperating.
mood, right. That's exactly what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, so we're dealing with a 3-year-old, so we have
Yeah.
to like work with her. But yeah, that one video I had to get ready 3 different days, and we had to try 3 different times. Um, but I mean, we just try our best to be patient with her. We know she's young, and she's still figuring out like, what she wants to do, and she runs the show here at our house. She's the one who runs our
Wow.
house. Uh,
Okay. Yeah, that's what
she has a
children actually do.
very big personality. So whatever she says goes. But yeah,
Okay.
no, it's been really fun to kind of have that dance with her.
Right.
I really like sharing that with her because she likes to dance anyways, but to be able to dance with my daughter, I just think it's so fun and it's so cool.
Is she like camera shy or something?
She actually is not. She's
Oh,
not camera shy. She has these little poses she'll do for the camera, and like I don't know where she learns it.
okay.
But I mean, I guess it helps that her dad is behind the camera, so maybe that's why. But she's quite comfortable with the camera.
That's like something which normally children are afraid of, like cameras or something going on video. But that's completely opposite with her. That's amazing.
This generation is probably going to be a lot more comfortable than the
Yeah,
older
that's true.
generation was, just
Yeah, because
because it's
they're
always
always
in your
on phone.
face.
Yeah. Plus, they're always on the phone doing something, playing, or even taking pictures. Even people these days are doing that. Oh my god. So currently, you are taking online classes. So how is that experience? Like, it is difficult to manage with online courses, or it's much easier in person.
It was a hard transition for us. We were teaching we had about 700 students before COVID hit.
Wow, that's
So
great amount.
last year, yeah, all around the Bay Area and a couple of other cities around the country, we were teaching classes in person. We shut those all down last March, and then
Right.
we had to go strictly online. It was completely different for us because we've only ever taught to people, and we were
Right.
teaching to a camera, so it was like so different.
Yeah.
Um, Throughout this year, again, Umer's been spearheading the whole thing, just because the kids and the business. So we had two different things. He was
Right.
in charge of the business aspect, more or less. He really developed a great program, and we've been doing it out of our garage.
Oh wow, that's unique.
Yeah, Yeah, so we ended up like putting up a banner, and it's like our little dance studio now.
Okay.
So teaching to a camera is very different, but it's so amazing to be able to reach so many people all around the world.
Right.
We've had students in Egypt, in India, in Taiwan, in
Wow, that's
London.
overall. Like
Yeah,
every
everywhere,
part of
right?
the
Since it's
countries.
online, anybody can do it.
Right.
So we have so much more reach now, and it's so fun that we can reach all these people everywhere.
True.
And we always wanted to do online classes, but we never had the chance. We were always so busy with everything else. So this really
Right.
gave us the opportunity to start that. And it's been really great to be able to give that to anybody around the world.
Right. So how do you like expect your Bhangra empire to, expand with online classes or besides that as well?
We definitely want to continue doing our online classes, even, when COVID hopefully goes away. I don't
Yeah,
know when that is.
hopefully.
Um, but we want to go back to our in-person classes as well because
Right.
it's such a fun way to build the community in person. But online, I feel like we're building a different type of community.
Right.
So we love that we can do both now. So
Yeah.
I think this past year has really taught us like how to do the online classes better. And
Right.
we've improved them a lot throughout the year. And it's been really fun to be able to reach all the people and then do it from home. So like we have that
Right.
convenience of doing it from home. Um,
Comfortableness as well.
yeah. So it's been really, really interesting. This year's been really hard, but super interesting. But again, like since we have three kids and I'm the
Right.
one on taking care of them, he's been doing the majority of the business, and that juggling has been really difficult. But hopefully we get better in the next couple of months, and we can start getting some more help. But it's been tough. It's definitely been a hard year.
Yeah, it's tough, but online classes can give you more platform. Like people from all over the world can help themselves with your, classes and everything. So that's a plus on plus, besides COVID as well. So I want to ask that do you sit and understand the Punjabi lyrics before you actually choreograph it or perform it? Or you just go with the flow and go with the beat it has?
We do a little bit of both. So sometimes when there's like a very like obvious line in a lyric, we'll do it. Like if it's Akina or like
Right.
something like that, right? It's very obvious. We'll put that into choreography.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're just doing whatever works with the beat.
Right.
And for our classes, we break it down in like different types of footwork. So like one song will be just like hops, and one song will just be like jumps. So
Oh,
we break it up in that way so that we can focus on those types of footwork. We
right.
really want to teach our students like the foundation, and like teach them from the ground up because we want them to know all the basics. With Bhangra, like the
Right.
nice thing about it is once you know the footwork, you can do anything with your arms
True.
and it'll look amazing, right?
True.
But the footwork is so important. So that's where we focus a lot of our, even if the lyrics say something else, we focus it on the footwork because it's so important with dance, right?
Right. So, what is that one tip you want to give to the students who are just stepping into this profession?
Oh, if they want to do it professionally?
Yeah.
Um, so so I never thought we would go this path. Like this is something that like is
Came out of the
completely
blue.
not. I never imagined this
Yeah.
ever. But if somebody was actually like thinking they want to get into Bhangra as a profession,
Right.
you just have to work really hard because it's not normal, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
not.
a normal profession. Like you're not studying something. You're not going to school per se for this.
Right.
But you have to have the passion. Like if you
True.
don't have that passion, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot more work because it's not a normal career path, right? Like ballet, for instance, there is like some kind of a career path because so many people have done it, right? To
True.
learn
True.
ballet and to go on
True.
stage and do, shows and all this. There's an
Yeah.
actual, like, you can do something, you can imagine it.
Right.
With Bhangra, like, it's whatever you want to imagine, so it's harder. It's more
Yeah.
work. Um,
Yeah.
so for us, like, it just happened because like we just worked so hard for it.
Right.
It's something that we've always been very passionate about, but we together, like it was something that we really were. I want to say like we're just very stubborn. There were a lot of times.
Okay.
There were,
All
there were a
right.
lot of times Bhangra Empire could have ended over the years just
Right.
because people didn't want to do it anymore, or
Oh,
like you know anything, drama, whatever. A lot of times Bhangra Empire could have ended, but Umar and I are super stubborn people,
yeah.
and we didn't want to let it end. Um, so just having that determination and that stubbornness,
That's important, I
along with
guess.
hard work, you need to have that drive. Otherwise, it's never nothing's gonna happen. Like you have to be motivated for it, you know?
Like you have to give your blood, sweat, and tears for what you have to achieve in life.
So much blood, sweat, and tears.
So, are you planning to combine any other, dance forms with Punjabi songs like ballet or hip hop or something from that culture?
We've never done that, but that sounds super cool.
I hope you do that though, someday.
Like in certain performances where we do like maybe a hip hop step here and there, like a solo, somebody does something like that,
Right.
or some classical footwork if it makes sense, just to be like to change it up to make it different.
Yeah, a mixture of something.
Yeah, but we've never done like a full set to that, but that would be pretty cool to do like a whole different type of dance to Bhangra music. That would be really cool.
Right, that's true. So, lastly, I wanted to ask you something about yourself. You have to tell me two things, maybe, which your Instagram family or your students does not know about you.
Um,
Tricky
what's
question.
up about me? This is hard. Um,
It's okay, that can be anything.
uh, well, I maybe this is not very obvious, but I wasn't very when we started doing Bhangra, we were kind of discouraged from doing it from the Punjabi side. They didn't want
Right.
us doing Bhangra because it was like, dancing in front of people and like on stage. My Punjabi family definitely didn't like that, even though it was Punjabi dance.
Okay.
They weren't very happy about it.
Supportive.
They came,
Okay.
yeah, they came around eventually, but it wasn't something that, with the Punjabi mindset, it's not something that people necessarily or the family necessarily likes. To like
Right.
dancing at a party is one thing, but dancing on stage is maybe a little
Stage.
different. And we kind of had to fight against that mentality.
That would have been very tough if I'm thinking about it right now.
Yeah, they weren't exactly pleased with it, but again, it comes with the whole hard work and stubbornness and like something you really want to do.
Right.
And you just have to work that much harder. If you don't have that full support, like you still have to work so much harder to,
Yes.
to get what you want, right?
Right.
I mean, now they love it, right? But it took a lot of time to get there.
Yeah, it's just the first step which is very difficult to take
Yeah,
without support.
and again, it all comes back to the same thing. Like nobody does Bhangra like this. Like this is different.
Yeah, true. Especially on an international platform.
Right. It's
Right.
not something that is done professionally or for a
Right.
living or anything like that. So it's since it's like the unknown, it's definitely it takes a longer time to get support.
That's true. But everything is good in the hood. So, yeah, you were telling me about two things which nobody knows about you.
Yeah. Um, I am vegetarian.
Wow, okay. Me too, by the way.
Yeah. I became vegetarian when I was only 10. And my family was eating meat at the time, so I was like I was a weird 10-year-old that didn't want to eat meat anymore.
So you didn't have like eaten meat after that?
I never ate meat after that.
Wow, that has been a really long years. If like wow.
My parents say it's because I went to science camp and I came back and I said I don't want to eat animals. So that's my reasoning.
Oh.
I don't eat meat because I like animals.
Yeah, animal lover. Got it.
um, and then let's see. I never traveled outside of the country until I was in Bhangra Empire. So we only went to Canada to visit family, but outside of that, I never went anywhere. So
Oh,
never really like traveled. We went to India in college. I went to
okay.
India when I was in college. So before that, we never traveled anywhere.
Well, that sounds fun because I'm also the one who haven't traveled anywhere, so that's okay. I can feel it. So, are you planning to come to India anytime soon after obviously COVID ends?
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to go back. I've only been there once ever. So I would love to go back one day and definitely do look at everything. Like we went to my dad's village when we went the first time, but we also got to see we went to Amritsar, we went to Taj Mahal,
Right.
we went all around. So
Right.
it's super cool that we were able to see a lot of things. But I'd love to go back just because it was so to hear stories growing up about India and then to see it in person, it was just so
Sure.
cool, right?
Yeah. I'll love to be your guide for the Indian tour.
To see like the actual India from an Indian person.
Yeah, it would be fun if I do that. I'll tell you inside stories also.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was nice talking to you.